Political gambling, is it even legal? Regardless, we're going to talk about it on this episode of Unimportant. Here we go.
Not change your life. This is the Unimportant Podcast.
Live from the actual Dingy Bunker. Those of you who watch the Daily Caller live show, and if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of the social media platforms, you know that the Dingy Bunker is the actual Daily Caller studio, but this is the dingiest of dingy bunkers. I'm here with my buddy Anthony, and we're going to talk a lot about, not a lot about, but I'm curious to talk about political gambling. Can you gamble on politics legally? I actually don't think so. But there is a website out there that we've been dabbling around in. It's called predictit.org, where you can literally gamble on politics and politicians.
I don't see why that. First of all, I've been to the Dingy Bunker, and honestly, that's
Dingy Bunker.
Honestly, that's overselling it. You could add a few more adjectives in there. Maybe smelly, maybe dirty,
okay.
maybe.
All right. This is the dingiest of the Dingy Bunker. So, all right. So here's the thing. Legally speaking, right, we had talked about what this show was going to be, what we're going to do. There's no plan, by the way. If you're tuning in and expecting a plan, you've come to the wrong place. But what we talked about is Barstool Sports being like this big conglomerate of effectively sports gambling, right? And so we were kind of thinking, I, at least, and I don't want to speak for you, so feel free to chime in here. I look at politics as a sport, and I look at the culture as a sport, which may be too cynical for some people out there in the what?
I see it almost more as a reality show. Like I think somewhere between sport and reality show, sport and Housewives. It's
American Idol. Like politics of our time is American Idol of the early 2000s, like where people call in to vote and.
Except somehow we can't figure the voting out. Like American Idol figured it out 10 years ago, how to get 30 million votes through a phone perfectly secure. It takes us 2 weeks and we still can't figure it out.
American Idol's voting security was like as good, if not better, as our own current voting security.
As good? No. It is far superior, without a doubt. Without a doubt. American Idol had voting figured out a decade and a half ago, and we're still trying to figure it out. We're putting drop boxes everywhere. Like, what is going on?
I don't think that was the intention of this, to talk about the voting integrity of the United States of America. But while we're on the topic, it is a little ridiculous that American Idol. Well, so the problem with American Idol is you could vote multiple times.
There's plenty of states here where you can do that.
This is completely apropos of nothing that we were talking about. But you know what's interesting? Did you see that Stacey Abrams clip the other day where she's talking about there's no actual such thing as the heartbeat in a 6-week-old?
Oh yeah.
So first of all, Stacey Abrams is what? She's the rising star of the Democratic Party, right? And do you know how she got her claim to fame? Do you happen to remember that?
No.
She lost the gubernatorial race in Georgia in 2018 and became popular because she was an election denier. She did not concede the election.
Right.
She still has not conceded the election. Stacey Abrams thinks that she should be the governor of Georgia right now, but apparently not conceding elections and mistrusting the voting, I don't know, system is solely a Republican and conservative thing. Any thoughts whatsoever?
I completely trust the American Idol voting system. I have no questions whatsoever about the American Idol voting system. We should try it out.
Kim says hello from the rotten Big Apple. Yeah, we are both in California, by the way. This is our first crack at doing this live streaming thing collectively. And looking, again, taking a political sports approach to the current system going on. So yeah, we're in California. So I don't know what's worse, California or the blue state of New York.
I feel like New York has to be worse because it's great here. I don't know what everyone's talking about when California's like, you go online and you read these comments of like California's falling apart. It's terrible. It's everything is, it's a hellscape.
Where are you going
it's
with
like
this?
I walk outside, it's beautiful. The weather's perfect.
Yeah, not everyone lives in Orange County, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, not everyone lives in New York City or in the
True.
Most of the California most of the California I've been to is.
If you look at you know what? Let me hold on. We have the ability to do this. If you look at a California voting heat map, let's just say 2020, because that's the most. I'm not going to be able to find a good image here. Oh no, here we go. Here's a great image, right here. Shoot. Okay, it's loading. It's going to be a problem. Well, we have this is our thing that we're looking at right now, predictit.org, which we will be talking about eventually at some point. But let's see, California voting heat map 2020. If you look at some of these, look at all these photos. Look at how red California actually is. Yeah. Let's see. Show image address. How do I don't know. You get the picture, right? California is a very red state minus some dumpy. Wow, geez, San Bernardino County. This is San Bernardino County. The thing my mouse is on. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Oh shoot, because it's on the wrong thing. Anyways, bottom line here is California is a lot of California is very red. More registered Republicans in California than any other state. Did you know that?
I would assume so. It's the largest state, right?
Yeah, so that's just a numbers thing. It's not actually. Anyways. Yeah. So I would like to get into this if you're okay with that. So there's this website called predictit.org. So first of all, dang, this went off the rails very, very quickly. I think we talked about Barstool Sports, then we went to Stacey Abrams, then went to election denying, and then American Idol. But the bottom line here is I think I look at politics as a sport. Anthony looks at it as a reality TV show, hence how we got to American Idol. But there's no legal gamble on elections, right? That's not legal in your mind?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me that you couldn't legally gamble on elections. Because you can gamble on everything else.
But so does DraftKings or FanDuel or any of those big gambling sites?
They're not allowed to do gambling right now, but there's foreign websites that you can go to and bet on American elections. What I think is fascinating is that I sat for an hour the other day trying to come up with a reason of why you can't bet on a election, but you can on a baseball game. It doesn't make any sense to me. I couldn't come up with a reason. And like the only thing that could come to my head was like, well, you could throw an election. I was like, well,
yeah, but who's going to do that?
It sounds easier to baseball game than an election, right?
Yeah, more people, I think, are going to be likely to throw a baseball game than an election. Not even easiness, just why would you throw the election? I guess if you're standing to make, I don't know, $1 billion in your gambling pool, but I don't know how you necessarily would get the stakes that high playing
you would have to lose, and to throw it, you would have to lose. And the reality is the way just the system's set up, you gain so much more financially by winning than you would, but you couldn't bet enough. There wouldn't be an opposite side with enough money to make you losing when you're supposed to win make any kind of sense, because the wealthiest people in our society are politicians, are people making money from the political show.
Yeah, the metro area of DC is the most expensive real estate in the world for a reason.
Right.
So anyways, so you can't legally
hold on. Side note about this. I went online yesterday and I was looking at tickets for and this just goes into like how politicians make so much money. And this lady's not even a politician. I was looking at like concert tickets or like baseball games or just stuff to do over the next few weeks. We were like, my wife and I were looking. The most expensive ticket right now in Los Angeles, second biggest city in the country, Michelle Obama.
I believe that.
It's like $2,000 to go listen to Michelle Obama speak.
You know why I believe that? Because if Michelle Obama wanted to be, she could be the next president of the United States. I know people are going to not like me saying that, but just from a political sport, that's like you're a diehard I don't know, Broncos fan, and Tom Brady comes to town, you would be stupid to say that Tom Brady sucks, because he doesn't.
Yeah.
You may not like him, and you may not agree with his offensive philosophy, but he doesn't suck. Michelle Obama, if she wanted to be the president, I think would win in a landslide, especially against the current Democratic field. But speaking of people in the political landscape, this is how effectively you or anybody can gamble on elections. This is predictit.org, which I think is freaking fascinating. So what you do, and as you can, whoa, excuse me. As you can see, I already put a $30 investment rolling I'm at the High Rollers Club here, investing $30 into the Predictit wallet. But what you can do is you can peruse around elections and bet effectively. So you don't bet necessarily on the outcome, because that's actually okay, sorry. Pause really quick. You can't really bet on the outcome of elections because you only have one game every 2 years in which you find people who win or lose, right? So, it's not as exciting as a basketball game every single day to gamble on.
Right.
But political gambling, if you want to do it, isn't necessarily based on the election outcome. It instead isn't based on the stock prices that other people engage with of certain politicians, of certain races across the country, of certain political parties. Like, let's look at this. Which party will win the Pennsylvania governor's race? Currently, right now, the odds are Democrats 79 cents versus the Republicans 22 cents. So in theory, could buy stock in the Democrats winning the Pennsylvania governor's race at 79 cents or 22 cents. So basically, the people on this website think that Democrats are going to win that seat.
Yeah.
Seems pretty handily.
So how does it work? Like, everything that's like in cents. So like when they do, like what happens if they do? Or like,
I don't really know how it goes all the way up to election day, which is a good thing that we're doing this now, 2 months before, a month and a half, 35 days or something before the election day, so that we can, I guess, all find out together. This is fascinating. Go ahead.
No, go back to that main screen.
Okay. The main screen or this screen?
That screen, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like every one adds up to 100.
Yes.
Except for that one.
Well, I think they're 1 or 2 cents off because that's the asking price for the. I guess this is pretty far off, right? 66 cents.
What about that one that's 17 cents and 17 cents?
Oh, I don't know what that is. Let's see. How many?
Oh, because it's a lot of them.
Interesting. Okay. Wow, that's fascinating. I want to look at this one. What is the likelihood? Is this Pennsylvania race? Are you watching this at all?
No.
Somehow the United States, and by the United States I mean Pennsylvanians, have put together the 2 most unlikable candidates to run for a seat in the most deliberative body in the world. We have a guy named John Fetterman, the Democrat there, who did not hold a job. I actually don't even know if he's ever held a job, but this guy, John Fetterman, hasn't had a job in the real world and admitted to living off of his parents' salary while he was the mayor of wherever he was. Lost Anthony. But while he was the mayor,
still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is your camera's cutting out?
Yeah.
Anyways, John Fetterman, while he was in the city council of whatever city that he was counseling, admitted to living on his parents' dime until he was like well into his 40s. Like, what? Can you imagine that?
Well, so what did he do? Like, he would just to stay at home son?
He was a community yeah, a stay-at-home son. Yeah, effectively, he's a stay-at-home son. Which, so by that standard, right, that has got to be one of the worst political candidates in the history of American political candidacy, except the guy he's running against, Dr. Oz. Like, what? Of the 2 people that Pennsylvanians could have chosen from, they pick John Fetterman, the guy who lived off of his parents' wallet until he was 45, or Dr. Oz, who, is an immigrant, self-made bajillionaire, but also just a just a dude. Dr. Oz is a nutcase.
I know very little about him.
Good. That's fine. I mean, so just know this. Dr. Oz spent, 30 years on TV peddling nonsense health stuff that never worked for anybody. So I feel like that should tell you all you need to know about Dr. Oz. Again, I probably would agree with him policy-wise, but get out of here if you think that policy is what we're voting on nowadays.
Yeah, that is almost inconsequential when it
What's
comes
going on
to
with your camera?
It overheated.
Oh, it overheated.
Well, I'm in the garage and it's pretty hot, so it's unhappy.
That's funny. So I don't know. So at this price, I still think polling wise, this is a toss up. Let me look at Pennsylvania polling. Senate polls. Wait, sorry, did you say your camera will turn back on eventually?
Potentially.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
gonna give it a shot.
All right. Let's see. Oh, wow. According to, this specific poll, Fetterman holds double-digit lead over. Can I share this screen instead? How do I change screens specifically? I guess it doesn't matter. Fetterman holds double-digit lead over Oz in new Pennsylvania Senate race poll. John Fetterman is leading 51-41 with 7 undecided. Who are you 7% of people that are undecided on this sort of stuff among 1,300 Pennsylvanians surveyed? Is that reflective of 66-37? I would say no. I'm going to go ahead and buy some no on John Fetterman here. Let's just say what's 25 cents a share. Doing okay there?
I'm back, baby.
Oh, good. That's exciting. I don't know if you heard this, but I'm about to buy 25 shares of no on John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. There was a poll that I just read that says Fetterman holds a double-digit lead, but I don't buy polls. I think people.
I mean, even if it is double digit, like,
well, it's double digits at the bare minimum of double. It's 10%. So it's 41 to 51 with 7% undecided, which I ask, who the heck are you people that are undecided on this election? You haven't heard enough about either candidate where you're like, I got to pick between the worst of two evils here.
Yeah, I mean, reality is most people don't even know there's an election, or like just don't. You know what I mean? Like people show up the day before and go, "Oh, who's running?" Like I don't think most people in Pennsylvania have any clue who these two guys are. Would be my guess.
I would say they probably have a clue, but because they're all over the news. Like John Fetterman is all over.
Nobody watches the news.
That's a good point.
Like I don't.
There are more people that will eventually end up watching this live stream than watch CNN.
No doubt.
Maybe not this one specifically, but we have beat CNN in the quote unquote ratings a couple times.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah. I'm better than Wolf Blitzer. All right. I'm submitting my offer to buy 25 shares of no on John Fetterman for 33 cents. Let's see if that goes up. So I have $12.75 invested. You want to know who my other big gamble is?
Give it to us.
So this guy named Tim Scott, he's a senator, I believe, from, is it South Carolina? One of the Carolinas. I think it's South Carolina. Tim Scott is a senator, and I would be shocked if he didn't run for president. This guy he's the real deal. Tim Scott is the real deal if you know anything about policy, politics, all that sort of stuff. View market. Here we go. So these are the odds-on favorites to become the 2004 Republican. Sorry, I'm eating jelly beans. Presidential nominee Ron DeSantis at 35 cents. That's a pretty good stock. Mm-hmm. I think that's only going to go up. Donald Trump at 30 cents. I don't think Donald Trump is actually going to run. I think
both of those are. That seems so high to me, though. Like Ron DeSantis has a 35% chance of being the Republican nominee. That sounds crazy to me.
Why?
That's what that means.
Why?
That's high. Like that's just really high.
Who else?
Like I don't know. Like it's exactly. I guess that would be my argument. Is that like he has 35% chance, and like we don't even.
I mean, look at the rest of the field, though. Ted Cruz, no, he's not going to get it. Tucker Carlson's at 3%. I give Tucker Carlson more
that's
than
a good vote. Tucker Carlson at 3 cents.
I'm going to buy some cents. All right, I'm going to buy. You're right. I'm going to buy some more Tucker Carlson stock. I don't have any to begin with, but I'm going to buy 50 shares of Tucker Carlson at 3 cents a piece.
Just from go through like the top 10 or 15 names and pick out the ones that Americans will know.
Well, yeah, you're right. That is the problem. Mitt Romney's at 2 cents. I would buy a no on Mitt Romney, right? And I still think I would make money, honestly.
Yeah, but go up. Like Tom Cotton, I don't have any clue who that is. Tim Scott, I heard the name, but I wouldn't have any idea who he was. Where Glenn Youngkin, no clue. Like,
are you kidding? You don't know who any of these people are?
No clue. And I think I'm informed. So like the people who aren't,
I think you're more informed than the average voter, unfortunately. But
right, so it's like that. Like that's how I would do this. I would scroll up and down that list and figure out the most popular names. Those are going to be the ones that are going to. It doesn't matter who they like. I mean, think about the last one, like Donald Trump. He was just the most famous person. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm. So this is fascinating because I obviously do this every single day, and I'm into get Glenn Youngkin in that Virginia race. So Glenn Youngkin is the first Republican governor of Virginia in a bajillion years.
Don't care.
Yeah. And that's all fine. But it's interesting.
Do you know how little a governor of another state affects my life? Zero of any kind.
Apparently
the other governor could be a dog and it wouldn't affect me.
I also think it would actually benefit the people of that state.
Probably. I think the governor. The reality is most canines could do a better job than most governors.
You know why? Because they wouldn't do anything.
That's it. This is like my number one pet peeve when people talk about politics or specifically Congress. But like,
hold on, wait. Sorry, stop. I got to cut you off. Tony said something funny. Dude, you guys have to do another podcast. You're both so dumb.
Another podcast?
Wait,
that's
I don't
what
understand
we're doing,
that.
Tony.
Dude, you have to do another podcast. You both are dumb. Well, I don't disagree on the latter part of that.
No, we are not. Let's be clear from the get-go. We're not. The fact that you pointed that out assumed that we think that we aren't dumb, which would be false. I'm not sure if that even makes sense, which I think proves my point.
Anyways, back to this. So I think Tucker Carlson is underrated, which is why I have 50 shares.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think Tim Scott, who for some reason this color of your skin matters in American politics.
Plus 10 cents black points for sure. Like at least minimum.
Well, so the thing is, like, it's stupid that that's how we look at politics, but because Tim Scott is just a good policy, like he's just a good candidate regardless.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That does not matter.
All right. So let's see. Anybody else who you think I should buy here? Donald Trump is at 2 cents. Junior.
He's not running.
Yeah, but I think that he knows a trick or two from dad. I think he inflate, because if you're being speculated as running for president, you get brownie points or media points. I'm buying 100 shares of DJT Jr.
I think that's no good.
At 2 cents? You don't think he's going to go up to 4 cents? I'm going to double my money?
I don't think so.
You're insane.
I don't at any point. No.
How? Give me a valid reason as why you think Donald Trump Jr. won't be sought as a higher up contender for the presidential nomination for the Republican Party.
Because his dad, like the second his dad dies or retires or goes to prison or Russia, you haven't heard about this?
Yes, I've heard about all of it. It's just funny that you're bringing it up. Okay, so what happens?
Well, it's like, as soon as that happens, then yes, he'll shoot up. But it's like there is no way.
That's what I'm saying. I think eventually.
Okay, so you're betting on a. Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this. I'm looking at stock prices. I would buy stock in, I don't know, company X if I knew 6 months down the road their CEO was going to, I don't know, resign.
Yeah. I don't think he's resigning, though. Is the problem.
Well, he's not going to resign, but I don't think he's going to run.
All right.
Like, I don't know. I'd be curious to people in the comment section think.
I'd be betting no on not no, or I'd be taking the under on the top couple guys for sure.
Let's see. I have 100. I would probably buy. I feel like Nikki Haley is overvalued too at 6 cents. Do you even know who Nikki? You don't even know who Nikki Haley is.
I know who she is, but
I think she was the former governor of South Carolina and also former ambassador to the UN for the United States. I feel like Pompeo
sounds like such a made-up job, doesn't it? What's
ambassador to the UN?
Like, I am an ambassador to a made-up club. Like, that does nothing.
So there was a guy who has worked in the UN. I forget his name and I forget his title. He's worked in the UN for 40 years. And he said he has never once believed in the UN in what they're supposed to do because they never do what they claim to do at any point.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't
Yeah. So
the UN, I don't know.
The United Nothing is what they call them in Israel.
United Nothing.
Which makes sense. All right. I want to play this clip or this video of what you had sent over. This is Governor King dictator Gavin Newsom. What is this? You want to set this up for us?
Governor... just watch it.
Just watch it.
Yeah, I'll get your reaction. This is This is Gavin Newsom saying he will not be running for president, which is...
Oh, Gavin Newsom not running for president. Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, I'm going to play it.
Ms. 507, Governor Gavin Newsom said it again. He is not running for president.
Are you considering running for president in 2024 or 2028? Not even considering?
No, not at all. And I thank you. I'm glad you're applauding no. No, and no. I've said it in French, Italian. I don't know German. I mean, I cannot say it enough. But thank you. It's humbling. It is sweet.
And the governor said that over the weekend at the Texas Tribune Festival in Austin. He was asked directly if he was running for president in either the 2024 or 2028 election. The governor also said he has enough to do between last year's recall effort and work here in California. What? There is a lot of speculation Governor Newsom, who has been traveling to several states, is launching a presidential campaign.
So, okay, question. How does the news media react to that, right? Because clearly, if you don't think Gavin Newsom is running for president, you, my friend, are an idiot. I don't say that lightly. I don't say that about a lot of people because I believe in respecting other people's opinions, even though sometimes they are wrong. But if you don't think that Gavin Newsom is running for president, you are an idiot, regardless of what he says. What other president is going to places like Texas and sitting on their stage there saying, you guys are doing X, Y, and Z wrong, and then runs ads against Ron DeSantis in Florida, and then does all of the things that Gavin is doing and doesn't run for president? If he weren't running for president, I would call him I already call him the dumbest candidate, the dumbest governor out there. But if he weren't running for president, it would be shocking to me.
Yeah. It's so weird hearing him say it that emphatically because
sorry, continue.
Well, you got to think like there's clearly a strategy here.
Yeah.
And I just can't really.
So, do you want to know what the strategy is? I'll give you the strategy.
Yeah, give it to me.
He's trying to get drafted by the American people into running for president. He's trying to get dragged by the people who really, really hate Ron DeSantis. Yeah. And he's trying to, what's the, there's a Latin term like fait accompli or something like that, where Gavin is trying to set himself up to be the antithesis of Ron DeSantis. Right. He's running ads in Florida so that when Ron DeSantis emerges as one of the big political contenders for the presidential nomination, people think, well, obviously Gavin is the choice to run against him. And Gavin will get to say, I have no interest in running, but if you insist, I guess I'll throw my hat in the ring. That's what he's doing. Yeah. And I hate that the media and everybody else is pretending that that's not happening because it 100% is.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I like it's interesting to me. I don't think I would. It's one of those like where you know that politicians are scumbags. We know
What?
this. But then when they actually do it and you watch it in real time, it's still kind of like it still kind of hits you weird. Like you kind of don't believe it. Because you watch that video, and I think 99% of people are going to say, like, oh, he's not running. Like who would lie that hard, that over and over and over and over again, right into the camera? I promise you, no, I'm not running. And it's like he knows he's running. So
The
it's like
same who would do that? Is that what you're asking? The same guy who said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
right? That's what I mean. Like it's shocking. Even though you know the politicians are scumbags, and even though you know a lie is coming, it's still weird to watch. It's still uncomfortable to watch. Like you just the goodness in a normal person's heart, which is how lame that sounds, but I believe it exists. Like I think they struggle to understand that the politician does not have that. That like, there is no slice or tiny drop of any kind of human goodness in this dude's heart. He's just a liar. Like, and it's crazy it's like a scam artist that just cannot do anything but scam people.
Listen to this comment from Mary. I did not have sex with that woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I believe he was technically telling the truth, but the perfect example.
Are we going to go down that rabbit hole? Are we going to go down relitigating the Clinton sex affair?
But listen, but this is exactly what Newsom's doing here. He isn't like when he says, because like this is how I believe Gavin is able to sleep at night, is that he isn't. He actually isn't. He has not filed paperwork to run for president. Therefore, he is running for president and technically isn't lying.
You think
the question was, will you run for president in the future? But it wasn't worded that way. So what he's saying is, no, I am not running for president, which is true.
Hold on. You think that Gavin Newsom has a problem lying directly to people?
No, I don't.
That's your own fault. Yeah, so he can sleep at night just fine without having to justify it in his own head.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. See, like, I think this is such a fascinating topic to get into because politicians either are masters at twisted logic that almost no other human would be with, or they're actually as horrible as we all think. And it's like, it's hard to think where that would be. It's like the difference between ignorance and a lie.
I talk about this all the time of like, what do people actually believe? Like when Stacey Abrams went on, and this is the second time we're bringing up Stacey Abrams, which I wasn't expecting to do, but Stacey Abrams was on that stage saying a heartbeat is not actually noticeable in the first 6 weeks of pregnancy. It's just a sound made up by doctors and ultrasound technicians, and literally everybody's in on it, by the way. The magical moment when a couple sees that their soon-to-be child has a beating heart, that everybody is in on it. The ultrasound technicians, the doctors, the pediatric whole facility, everybody's in on it. So what I'm getting at here is it's obviously ridiculous. But when she said that, was she actually in belief of that? Or does she know that that's going to get her on the news and get her more attention? Which is the same thing Gavin's doing here right now. He knows that saying that he's not running is going to get attention. Oh, Gavin said he's not running, so therefore we have to pretend that he's being honest with us and go about our speculation accordingly. Like, get out of here with that. Gavin Newsom denies presidential run once again. I want to play that one more time. We're going to play his flat out.
Well, and look at this. Like, he says he's not running in 24 or 28.
That's stupid. That's just stupid.
President in 2024 or 2028. Not even considering.
No, not at all. And I thank you. I'm glad you're applauding. No. No, and no. I've said it in French, Italian. I don't know German.
BS. I have not heard Gavin say no in French. Unless, of course, notice how Spanish was not included in the languages that Gavin Newsom has said denied that he's running for president in.
It's funny.
But so, dang it, I had a thought and it flittered out of my head. Ryan says there's no such thing as bad press as long as you can deflect attention by claiming racism. Yeah, that's tends to be the case that Gavin Newsom likes to play that card quite a bit. I don't know if he plays the race card necessarily, but any attention is good attention is the bottom line here.
Yep.
So
I think that's where politicians go bad, because people are like, how could Gavin Newsom be such a terrible person? And you're like, because it doesn't make sense to a normal person. But I think there is this weird thing that happens. I think it happens with people online too, like people pitching, like we talked about Dr. Oz earlier, like pitching ridiculous diets or things that we know are just nonsense. Like there's just they will not help you and they'll probably hurt you. I think that where they align their, like you or I or a normal person has a moral and ethical compass based on something, and it might be slightly different for everyone, and that's fine. But politicians do the same thing, and they align their moral and ethical compass on attention, to where it doesn't.
If I got more attention, that means I was justified.
It means I did the right thing, and it's like, well, but you lied. It's like, well, I got more. No, I did the right thing. I got more attention, and so like I think this happens to pretty much all of them, and it's how you wind up like people that a lot of times are good people and then go into politics and become bad people. And it's like, well, because their compass realigned to, I'm going to get more attention, I'm going to get more press coverage, whatever, with doing this, regardless of whether it's the right or wrong thing to do. And it like they don't even have that question anymore, because the right thing to do is what gets you more attention, regardless of what that is.
Well said. Yeah, I don't think I disagree with any of that. I want to bring up the other thing that you brought. Oh, this is definitely unimportant, but also kind of not entirely unimportant. There's a cheating scandal that has befallen the chess world, which I'm skeptical of. I would like to hear any thoughts that you have. The chess world champion, Magnus Carlsen, who is a wizard, by the way. If you don't know anything about chess or about Magnus Carlsen, dude has been a grandmaster since he was like 14 years old, and wizard is the best term I think I can use to describe him. But anyways, the chess world champion has accused a rival of cheating. Does that sound familiar? I wonder if there's any like sort of, I don't know, higher office in the United States of the two rivals calling each other cheaters or having the FBI raid their homes. Is that a thing elsewhere, or is it just in chess? I don't know. Just kind of a thought.
I think it's just a chess thing.
Do you have any thoughts on this? Because you sent it. I feel like you've probably got something formulated in your head here.
I don't know where I read this or heard this, but
CNN.com. This is the article that you sent me.
But what I thought was because like I kind of ignored all this and I was like, this just sounds like drama. I saw somebody break down basically like chess games have ratings to where like they give you a percentage of how perfect you played it, or like what I'm not really sure what the metric is exactly, and it's probably something we could and should look into.
Yeah.
But basically this guy who had cheated had played significantly better. And not just
when you say he has cheated. He cheated when he was 12 and 16, by the way. I think he's 19 now, the guy being accused of cheating.
I didn't know that.
So, sorry. Yeah, and so I think this was 3 years ago. Magnus Carlsen is saying that he cheated more recently than that. But anyways, continue.
Crazy. Basically, there's a certain percentage rating that you get, and Carlsen had played 2 100% games in the last like 10 years or something.
Yeah,
this guy has played 26.
Yeah,
and it was like, okay, so he's either 10 times as good as the best chess player ever, or he's cheating. Like he is actually playing. Like the problem with his cheating is that he's playing too well, and no one believes that a human is capable of playing as well as this guy has played. He's making the best chess player ever look like a fool. What it was I heard described essentially.
Okay.
In that, like it's not even, we almost like that the chess community at this point doesn't need proof that he is cheating because he's playing better than any human theoretically ever could.
Okay, so yes, I don't disagree with any of that, but let me throw a wrench in some of this. And again, it's not necessarily meant to make you think anything otherwise.
Yeah.
But Magnus Carlsen, the reigning chess champion of the world, again, dude who's 31 years old now, has been a grandmaster since he was like 14 years old, maybe even younger than that, has his own chess platform called Play Magnus.
Yeah.
Now, that chess platform, and I realize this is probably a deeper dive into the world of chess than any of you asked for or want, but Magnus Carlsen has his own platform called Play Magnus that is a place where people come together and play chess online. There is another platform, both of which I think we've both used to just totally annihilate our friend Nick, called chess.com. I believe last week, maybe even sooner than that, chess.com and Magnus Carlsen came together and said that they're going to have a merger. They're still going to remain separate companies, but from the administrative standpoint, they're going to be together taking on the market of people playing chess online. So the question is this guy cheating? And is he definitely playing better than anybody should be playing? Probably. It kind of looks like it. But also, is this a pretty convenient opportunity for Magnus Carlsen to grab more headlines? Maybe it is. I don't know.
Here's the thing though. Like, if he was the kind of guy, and maybe he is, that was the headline grabber type.
Yes.
Don't you think he would have picked something other than chess?
Yeah.
Like, he's a genius. He's a literal genius.
Yeah. And a literal genius. And again, I don't know Magnus. He might be a great guy, but a genius at that level tends to have a few emotional reaction to things, and also understands the landscape of getting attention, and would have less of a problem than your average politician, maybe, than at just fabricating something in order to get said attention. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I have no idea.
My theory is that like somebody who has dedicated their life to something like this, like you think about the great fanatics, the Michael Jordans, the Tom Bradys, the whoever's, which this guy is in that bucket.
Yes.
These people are insane.
Yes.
They are completely and totally dedicated to what they do. And I don't have any reason to believe that Carlsen would be different. And so it's kind of hard for me to think like, oh, I'm going to throw a wrench into all this just for fun. I don't know. But like, it's super weird to me that the Michael Jordan of his domain would.
I can see that.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
To move on from this a little bit, I just saw that I just opened up Twitter and somebody, Benny Johnson posted something about Joe Biden. You want to watch this?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second.
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Everything is more complicated if you're not vaccinated in a hurricane. Natural disaster.
Whoa,
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike,
one more time,
like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
I forgot
I feel like you could just insert anything there and it would be the same. Like the vital part of preparing for a hurricane is to order a Happy Meal ahead of time. Or like,
if you are preparing for your team's Super Bowl parade, the best thing to do is actually, that kind of makes sense. If your wife is mad at you because you didn't do the dishes properly, even though she just said put them in the dishwasher, but you didn't quite scrape exactly the amount of food off before putting them in the dishwasher, regardless of the fact that they claim out clean, any of that, the best way to prepare yourself is to get vaccinated.
It's weird to me. Like, I'm watching his face and like, this is another one of those things where politicians are just kind of built different. Like, I'm looking for him saying or like something in his face that tells me this is a joke.
Okay, you've seen this though, right?
Oh yeah.
This is, I think, if you want to look at his face, look at this clip. Okay, I'm going to play this and then I'm going to play it again and watch Joe Biden's face and then watch Elton John's face.
By the way, it's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help fight HIV/AIDS.
Both of them. Elton John's like, wait, we're what? You're spending how much money? That's insane. Nobody would do that. And look at Biden's face of just like surprised that he's even there.
That's a good way to describe, I feel like, this presidency. Surprised I'm here.
There's one other clip that I want to play of Amy Klobuchar regarding this hurricane thing. It isn't as bad as here it is. This isn't as bad as Joe Biden saying the best thing to do in preparation for a hurricane is to get vaccinated, but it gets pretty close. Watch this.
We just did something about climate change for the first time in decades. That's why we've got to win this as that hurricane bears down on Florida. We got to win in the midterms. We understand that.
You want to stop hurricanes? Show up to vote.
For me, not everybody else, only me.
I don't know. Dude, my watch is going nuts right now. Do I have something in my teeth? Are there people that are like commenting on all of the social media platforms and just like, I don't know. Did I do something? I feel like there's like 30 different things going on right now. But yeah, I don't know. Amy Klobuchar doing her best Biden impersonation and not quite getting there entirely. But to prepare for a hurricane, you must tie your shoes properly. Double knot those.
That makes a lot more sense.
Actually, yeah, it does. You don't want to be caught in a hurricane with
I'm trying to think
shoes.
of anything that makes less sense than prepare for a hurricane by getting vaccinated.
What's going on?
It's hard to come up with something. Like maybe prepare for a hurricane by adopting a kitten makes less sense.
Well,
or like I don't know. I don't know.
This Mar-a-Lago thing is going to get really, really interesting. Justice Department says seize Mar-a-Lago materials list is full and accurate. Okay. Do you care about this at all? I don't really care about this much.
I don't know. This is one of those like, this is going to make a lot of noise and eventually there will be it feels like one of those things that it's not really worth talking about because it's just garbage news for like the next 2 or 3 years and then it will like kind of go away in the night.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Ryan, who is a frequent correspondent and I think watches more than most people. There's a few other people that watch like every single day, but Ryan's very, very witty and said, you know what makes less sense than getting vaccinated to prepare for a hurricane? A vegan supporting abortion. I don't want to get into that entirely right now, but he makes a fair point and I think it's funny.
All right. Well, I think we
on that note, we're looking at
damaged enough eardrums today.
We're looking at your very, very ardent supporting LGBTQ plus flag on our screen right now, as that is
we'll get the camera situation figured out. It's
something you hold near and dear. Anthony's a very, very
they did include me on this one, way over there on the left.
No, it's funny. That's a funny joke. Yep.
Yeah.
I get it.
Most pride flags I am not included in the
I
include
get it.
everyone because
I
of
get
how
that.
I was born.
Hashtag inclusivity.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Appreciate any of you tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and grab the podcast on wherever.
We haven't figured out any of that yet.
I'm going to put it under my Jobob Unlimited stuff for at least the time being, and maybe we'll make another unimportant. There is an unimportant podcast thing. Is that still up, by the way? We used to do a full podcast called the Unimportant Podcast. That may or may not still be online, but I don't know. They're on YouTube still, and one of them got a ton of views. Hold on.
Really?
Do you remember? Yeah.
I gotta go.
Okay. I'm going to look up what this thing is. Yeah.
Do it.
Unimportant podcast. It doesn't matter. I can't find it. It wasn't the first thing that popped up, and I got lazy. Anyways, that'll do it for us today. I guess we will see you whenever. There's really no timeline or anything with this show. We're just...
we're winging it at this point.
And I don't think it becomes unwung.
Yeah, we'll see.
In the future. We'll see. All right. See you later. God bless America.
We'll do better next time.
But probably not.